Teddy, not the best year for the group. What were the major challenges that resulted in such a decline in revenues and profits?
Afternoon, Fifi, not the best. But if you look at our performance in this past year, it's primarily because of the slowdown in the economy. Last year, we had an exceptional year due to the network rollout of our clients. That made it exceptional. So we had a big bumper year, which is now things have normalized to the levels where it should be, but it's primarily pushed by the depressed economy that we went through in the past 12 months. I mean,
you're talking about a slowdown in the economy, and now many people were saying that this time last year, and now you speak to people about the economy, they're seeing an improved outlook for the economy. So is this the case for you as well or not?
Well, from an outlook, we're seeing an improved one, definitely, but last year was depressed. Now, euphoria in the first quarter of the year, I'm talking about calendar year, but that still has to translate in purchase orders from clients. We're seeing a stronger second half as opposed to the first half because there's a time lag between business confidence translating into actual projects that people can actually see on the ground.
Teddy, talk to me about the loss of this major client that really resulted in the slump in revenues that you saw. Who was the client and what was the full impact of their departure?
The bulk of the revenues that pushed us exceptionally last year was a result of the fiber rollout generally within the country, not necessarily specific to one particular client. Okay. That the fiber rollout was quite high. Many clients were really picking up stock as they began to build faster networks. For example, people were kind of keen to have a 100 meg line. With the economy going down, suddenly your 5 meg, 10 meg line was okay, so orders went down, and that slowed down, and we also felt that pressure. But as the economy grows up, we're going to see the uptick again coming up, particularly in the second half of the year.
I mean, but I thought the technology sector was very resilient, especially now as we're talking about this fourth industrial revolution that many countries are experiencing, whereby whether you do have a slowing economy, you do have to invest in this space if you're going to find yourself relevant as a company, but your results are saying the opposite.
This is primarily why we have changed our business to Etion. And part of the rebranding is to refocus our business from heavy engineering that we're accustomed to, that we used to do in the past. Our journey has to move the company towards industrial revolution type. So if you look at our business, we now have 4 businesses that target primarily any part of the internet network. So we have a business that is Etion Etion Digitize, where we look at people going digital networks and digitizing their mines, digitizing their railways. All the edge equipment that you put on the Internet of Things, we make that stuff. We have that. Then we have another business that allows that information to go through somewhere else. That's the access part that Etion connects. And then we have a business that secures all that data, which is Etion Secure. In other words, we are into cybersecurity, we are into access, we are into devices that allow a network to work. And underpinning that, we've got our own original design manufacturer. So going forward, in terms of tackling the Industry Vision 4, we're seeing good prospects for the business.
Why the name Etion?
Well, part of what we're trying to do in changing our brand is a lot of energy that we want to bring in the business and action. And energy, action, Etion as a business that is purely designed to see how we can enhance humanity using technology.
Teddy, mining safety, a big problem in South Africa right now. The miners are talking about some very weird and peculiar fall of ground that is resulting in a lot of these fatalities. I mean, on the ground, I imagine that some of these miners are your clients. How are they responding to improving safety through technology at their operations? We're
actually seeing an uptake in people trying to see how technology can enhance humanity. When we talk of enhancing humanity, that's using technology, that's exactly that. Primarily in the past, we're looking at how we monitor certain systems like ropes or gases in mines or anti-collision. Now we're moving into areas where we monitor the seismic movement of rocks so that if there's potential of rocks falling, at least people are knowing. So miners in general now, especially those that are working in underground mines, are putting a lot of effort in making the mines safety. Our mines are becoming deeper and deeper and more difficult to mine, and that's precisely why safety becomes more and more a requirement. Over and above that, for them to reduce costs, one or another of doing that is to try and make their mines more digital.
So someone like Sibanye, would they be your client, Sibanye Stillwater?
All clients that have got to do with mining in that space, underground or above ground, we put all our potential clients with the services that we offer and solutions.
So Sibanye Stillwater is?
They're not our client today, but our potential client.
Yes, they need to be, because I mean they're responsible for the bulk of fatalities that we are seeing in South Africa this year. All right, so let's talk about this cybercrime market, a very interesting space, particularly with what happened with, you know, a local insurer, Liberty, just the other week. What's happening there?
Well, people will try and hack and get into your systems to try and understand what you have so they can steal your information. Sometimes we forget that in the good old days, people did not walk out with their files because they had copies and things like that. But now your files have become digital. Somebody's mobile phone is out of the office. The files are on the mobile phones, on your laptop, anywhere you go. So it requires people to be put more security. The more we get connected, the more we digitize our system, the more security we need to build in. And some of the products that we do actually try and prevent that by making networks more secure.
And are companies doing this, though? And do you expect this to soon reflect in your numbers so that in the next year we're not looking at, you know, such a slump in profits and revenue again?
We are expecting companies to do that, and I think companies are becoming aggressive because they do realize the damage that it causes to them. I mean, somebody hacking your systems and asking you to pay a ransom, it may sound like a small thing, that's a big thing, but the worst part of it is the disruption that it does to your business. So companies are really looking at and governments as well, in how they can make their network secure, and that's precisely why we're focusing in that market at the moment.
Teddy, we are out of time, but last question, Australasia, you're looking to go in there. When and why?
The reason is that our products now, the way we've redesigned our business, in the past there was a bit of some stickiness in terms of making them more global type products. With what we've done and repackaged them, they're actually good for any part of the world in the Western world. And Australasia is one of those markets that is just not far from us.